Hey, it's the Grow Boss. We're going to start the show in just a couple minutes. Let a few more people come on. The show starts at 1. I just want to let you know that I see you guys are out there and we're on top of it. So give me a minute and we'll be right with you. Do you want a mic? Are you sure? I mean, you're on camera. Do you want a mic? Yes, you got a lighter. The show, you hear the music. The show's been rolling. All right, I got it on the introduction. We'll start the show in just one sec. Oh, yeah. We'll start the show in just one sec. Really, it's just a couple of us on here, so there's no rush. All right. Chuck's done. Let's start here. Hey, I'm the Grow Boss, and this is an hour of hydro hustle. This is for hydro store owners and vendors in the industry, and this is where I go over details on the other side of the counter. This is what happens on the back end. This is not the growers that come to my store. These are not questions about how to solve grow problems. These are store questions, right? So let's just make sure. Hey, Semet, it's super funny. Hey, let me just make sure, Semet, give me a mic check because I got everything going okay, right? I got my new wireless mic on. We got a lot of new technology in my grow store. Like, boom. All right, so there's You Better Be Dead or In Jail Chuck. And we put a TV up on the far side over there. We've got more TVs coming. We got a little more construction going on right there too during the show. Got my little display. That's a store shot at the moment. So this is what's going on at Henderson Hydro. I have been remodeling my store with the help of Sunlight Supply and some advice. And in the last 6 weeks, I've spent $20-some thousand remodeling my store. 3,000 of it was on construction. We built a new countertop, and I bought some new shelves. But all the rest of that money went into inventory. Why? Because, listen, I was screwing myself. In terms of my store, I was writing the Grow Book and Equipment Guide. I was marketing it, so I was focusing on that. And I knew when I was done with my Grow Book that I would be able to come back into the industry and just puff up my store, and I would have a book and a store. So I finished the videos a couple of weeks ago, and we started puffing up the store. And I realized just how embarrassing my store was. Crazy. It was like the Goodwill store. It was like the gun store where there's so much shit, you're scooting down the aisle sideways. And I made a video showing how I like all the stages that my store went through because, you know, it ended up like I dreamed, but to get there, it wasn't as easy as I thought. I was half committed. Then we added a little more, and then eventually, fuck it. We went all in. I've got like 6 cameras, 7 TVs. We've got so much inventory. And let me tell you the lesson that I learned by having so much inventory again. When I bought my store from my friend who had 2 stores, but was too irresponsible for one, he sold me the second one. When I bought Henderson Hydro from him, I made a book with every picture of everything we sold and every UPC, so we had everything. There was no question about prices. I really got into the details. But then I sort of let it all slack as we opened up a couple of stores, and then we went from 6 to 15 stores locally. So I closed 2 of my stores, moved the store here. But I got to tell you, I worked hard for my hydro store when I got it. And it showed. Then I started writing the book. Then I got sick. And so the store suffered. They don't tell you, in economics school that you got to be on the ball every day. And you know what I mean? In your business, you got to open it up on time. They just say, buy low, sell high, supply and demand, blah, blah, blah. But they don't tell you not about people using your bathroom and stuff like that. So, in terms of the business, I've started to fall in love with my hydro store again. And so I started making changes. We changed the inventory. Oh, check it out. We bought Chuck a feather duster. Anyway, we've been moving shelves around and stuff like that. So what we've started doing is I've started looking at the business again. And when I looked at my business, a couple of things came to mind. About 5 months ago, a vendor came into my store to talk to me, and he knew exactly who I was. And I was just like, oh, and his big comment was, wow, I expected a little more from the Grow Boss shop. You know what I mean? I threw up in my mouth a little bit. So from that perspective, I let that go because there wasn't anything I can do with it. We were still shooting the Great Root Race. But the week that I finished the Great Root Race, I worked the store on the weekend. Chuck has it during the week. So I'm here on the weekend, and I looked around my store, and it was awful. It was awful. So I decided to redo my store because the videos were done. And frankly, I'm a hydro store. So one of the things that I did was I started thinking about the parts and pieces that I'm missing. And my friend who I bought the hydro store from used to say, fill it to the fucking gills. They can't buy it if you don't stock it. You know, when you get a little sloppy, and that's construction, you get a little sloppy and you start to notice that, oh shit, people don't buy very many dehumidifiers. But suddenly you don't realize that people don't buy very many burners, and people don't buy very many of this and this and this and this. And suddenly I was a victim of my own failure by not stocking the things that they don't buy. They can't buy it, thereby reinforcing my own belief that they're not buying it. And you know what? I was wrong. Hey, Collins. Good to see you from the weekend. But I was realizing that even if they only buy 3 burners a year, that was 3 sales that I missed out on, times 20 different products, because they may not buy this light, but they buy lights. And then sometimes they'll buy that light, but mostly they'll buy something else. So all I'm saying is, okay. So let me, this is live dash. Let me go. So I got an email from one of the stores that didn't get the link to it. So let me just send it out. Look up Cannabis Information Network. And I'm going to tell you something for the vendors and the stores and the store owners that are a little older from me and a little bit older than me. A webcast may not be something that you're used to. I remember going onto a forum and typing something in. I got no fucking idea what's going on. I couldn't communicate with anybody online. People say World of Wizard Craft, right? They got no idea what there's going on. They got no idea what they're playing. But let me tell you a little something about a webcast. A webcast is way more interactive. For instance, I've got Skype up. Right now, you could call me. It's 84 Grow Boss. If you have any questions about your store, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the like button. If you like the webcast, click the like button, and that'll bring even more people onto it. Well, that's what I say usually on the weekend webcast. For this, it doesn't matter because it's a little more private for us. So in terms of that, the webcast is way more interactive, and that's why I like doing it, because I get emails from people that want to get the link to the show, and I have a live chat that you can type into. I mean, Semit, and we got Richard from last time, and so these are the people that see me time and time again. Now, in a lot of stuff, if you guys are watching, you'll hear other people say, hey, click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Listen, I don't really care. This is store to store, store to vendor. I'm here to offer you information. And this week's topics are tips and tricks for the industry, how you can sell more product, and the things that I've been doing for my store since I came back online. Because for like the last 6 weeks, I've really been trying to improve my store. The videos are done. And so that's this week's topics, tips, tricks, stuff like that. For instance, I'll show you something. I've got, here we go. So let's, oh, nope, okay. So I've been slacking so hard, I forgot that, oh my gosh, I forgot that, give me one sec, I forgot, this is a new computer. I forgot that I was supposed to be working on my Craigslist and putting ads up on Craigslist. Listen, I got to tell you, Craigslist is free. And if I'm going to, hang on a sec. Hey, Chuck, would you turn the air down a little? If I'm going to be advertising and spending money on advertising, then I am going to do the free stuff too, because why am I spending money on the expensive stuff if I'm not doing the free stuff, right? And a good job too, not just the free stuff. So when we look at Craigslist, okay, so we just look up, there's a couple keyword. Hydroponic is one good one. Grow equipment, grow tents. These are the relevant ones. So one of the things that I do is I look and see who's out there. Now, one of the other things I do is I also middle click with my mouse button. So if you've got that middle click right there with your mouse button, you'll middle click each of the, I'm in Las Vegas. Okay. You'll middle click each of the ads, and you'll middle click each of the ads. Then you'll notice at the top, there is, then when I go to the next one at the top, there is a prohibited, close the window, prohibited, close the window, prohibited. So I open up everybody that's not mine, and sometimes mine, fuck it. But I open up everyone that's not mine. And I just, does it suck? Hell yes. But then something that you don't know unless you're on here, we've got like these like water barrel companies like this, who the same company puts up like 50 fucking ads, dude. And then the stuff gets lost. And you know, your stuff gets buried in the stacks of nonsense that people have like 50 things up. What you'll also notice is there will be financing available. When we look at this ad, I bet you the best prices in town, exclusive deals daily, customized package, about Hydrolite, is one of your one-stop shop all. We've been in this industry for 20 years. Limature, these are some of the different products. Warren, Michigan. So let me tell you how somebody gets their Michigan store, and this is completely my fault, because I'm the only one in town that knows that it has the technology experience, the technology know-how to go through this nonsense and solve it. But let me just tell you, I'm actually bringing someone in to come and set up a VPN network for me, where I can go to Craigslist and I can open up an account in each state, one major city in each state, and I'll get an IP address from that state, and I'll be able to run, dude, I will be able to run my ads. See my ads like this with the nice images. I'll be able to run my ads for my books in every state. Now, my ads aren't going to link to a PayPal account, but it'll say buy online, just like Michigan is advertising in my area on Craigslist. How do they do it? They got a VPN network. They get an IP address local to the state. So Craigslist thinks they're in that state because, listen, I've tried every different way to ghost Craigslist, and I'm damn good at what I do. And I've tried every different way to ghost Craigslist to get my ads in other states, but it's a waste of time. when I was doing the Texas Roadshow, I paid somebody in Texas to open up an account and run ads. Grow Boss is coming. So you can see I've got a lot of ads here, but there's there's a lot of other stuff too. So one of the other things I do after I go through and I delete everybody and I prohibit everybody, I also have a buddy. I got a buddy at one of the other hydro stores, and I remind him, I'm like, look, dude, you don't do a very good job of this stuff, and I'm telling you, if I'm the only one on here, I'm the only one that makes this money. So I have him go through and delete everything too. So they go through and delete everything. Anyway, then what I do is, trade for grow equipment. What is this? Brand new, looking to trade for grow equipment. What has he got? Tens units. Who wants a 6-pack? And we got some, the tens unit. Yeah, so tens is the muscle contraction and nerve stimulation. Okay, so here are all these products. Here is all this crap. So what is the next thing that I do? Let's open up this one, and then I'll show you. I go up here to reply, and I am not a robot. And then I go up here and I click them and mail, and I send them a mail. And what do I say in the mail? I go, dude, I sell this shit on Craigslist cheaper than you. Well, I don't start with that. Hey, I'm Henderson Hydro. I own the hydro store in Las Vegas, in Henderson, and I'm into the equipment. I'll buy it all from you if you want to get rid of it, but I am a hydro store, so I'm in for this amount. And then I just offer a suggestion, and then I remind them that I've got all this stuff on sale on Craigslist for $90. Whatever they're selling for $1,200, I have it on there for $300. You know what I mean? So it ain't worth what you think it is. The same shit we tell them in the stores. So I go through Craigslist. That's one of the things that I do, right? So I delete them and I prohibit them, and then I try to buy everything. So this guy's got Hydro Farm Raptor air cooled. I sell these things for $100. Maybe not the Hydro Farm one. I sell them brand new in a box for $100. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on here. What I'll do is I'll put on here like 3 for $300. And then I'll just send the guy a link, and I'm like, dude, I've got them on here for 3 for $300. Tell you what I'll do. I'll buy them from you. Now, the thing is that if they're going to bring them to my store and they're on Craigslist, I'll buy it for a little more. I may do $60, $65. Good condition with the glass, nice and clean. But if they show up at my store, this thing's worth $25 because I've got a dozen used ones in the back. You know what I'm saying? So there's this relationship between how many I have and what this and the relationship of all that. But anyway, that's just, here's Craigslist, and that's just one of the things that I do. So you guys have been getting the emails from me where I've been sending them out from Walmart. Let's see. So here you go. Watch. So one of the vendors, one of the distributors, watch me live, talk about it right now. One of the distributors, I was working a trade for some advertising with one of the distributors. So you can advertise in my magazine. I get stuff, from, you know what I mean? So I pay a little less for the magazine page, and then you guys pay a little less from the inventory. And we get like, a symbiotic deal, and the money stays in the industry. But the reality is, you guys have been seeing me send out those emails for prices like Walmart. Let me just to give you an idea. Just to give you an idea, how can that possibly be that my password doesn't work? Silly, because it worked earlier, right? So, let's see. That is correct. I don't know what to say. Okay, so, we don't need to see that. Let's do this. Let's go. Okay. We'll go back here, and then we'll do hydroponic 6-inch fan 2017 2017 blower. This will bring up, we do best match, low to high, and I just wanted to point out that a $43 4-inch fan, but here is a $47. And I bought some for $49. I found this fucking thing for $47 5 minutes after I bought. You know, I'll buy 20 of these fans, and what'll happen is I'll buy them 2 at a time. That way, if there's a problem, I'll buy 2 every few days. That way, if there's a problem, I could leave like 10 bad reviews for somebody. But that's because I know how to do this. So I would buy, but because free shipping's free whether you buy 1 or 20, right? I mean, nobody cares about the shipping whether it's 1 or 20. Yeah, Semit's super smart. Damn it, I thought I was doing so good. Okay, so here, let me show you. I think this should get him to me. Oh, they fixed it. So these for the last few weeks have been $229. Oh, dude. 35 collars for $229. Let me tell you what I did. I bought 10 of each color. I bought 40 of them. And then when they refunded my money, you know what I did? I bought 60 of them. $229 for 35 collars, 35 in the package. But I got some neoprene collars right there on the shelf. That's the same thing. I think we're buying them for like 12, 14 bucks. Fuck that. Okay. So I was telling you how I was trading with one of the vendors because I offered one of the vendors a trade for some advertising. And I was, you know, my store is stocked. I'm doing them a favor because I can buy this on Walmart for cheaper than I can get it from a distributor. So rather than let the money go out of the industry, what I did was I said to distributors, hey, listen, it's of no never mind to me. I mean, 97% of my inventory still comes from distributors, even though I find deals like these online. Even though I literally find deals like this online, okay, let's see, Clonex solution gallon, $24.50. It's $40 wholesale if you buy it by the case. And you know, the worst bottle that I got had this white Walmart sticker on it, and we just peeled off the sticker, but it left the sticky part. So I just put a Grow Boss made for marijuana sticker on it, put it back on my shelf, 70 bucks, boom. Okay, in terms of that, I've had this, listen, I love my distributor. They feed my family, but I've also had this long-standing concern about distributors selling online and competing with their stores. Now, listen, if you're going to put MSRP and charge for shipping, I can't. Business is business, man. I hope the distributors sell online and make money. I don't want them to undercut me. So this is not being sold by, this is not being sold by a distributor. Those neoprene inserts, they're being sold by Mile High Hydro. You know what I mean? It's a hydro store. It's a big hydro chain. So, you know, out of Colorado. So, you know, I have no problem with it. Listen, I'm benefiting from it. I don't know why they have it, but the manufacture dates are good. I know they're not forging it. I asked Clonex. They don't know how they do it. So I'm just saying that there are ways to get stuff cheaper for your store, you know, in terms of inventory. So I was trying to trade a little bit of advertising to one of the vendors, and my observation was, you know, we keep the money inside the, you know, here I am with the vendors, like, you know, my books go out, I print 10,000 a month of this stuff. So my observation is, why wouldn't we work together? But that's okay. So they said no. And my observation was, listen, for years and years, stores have been worried about the distributors putting us out of business by selling online. I remember Advanced Nutrients coming to my store 6 years ago, the stack of printed paper showing me Home Depot, how they were selling hydroponics, GH, but you know what I mean, like all the name brand shit online. And if you go now, you can buy everything from Advanced in every size from Home Depot. And it's probably like Walmart, where it's not really Home Depot. They're individual sellers selling through Walmart, Mile High Hydro, or who's ever selling these fans. The problem is the distributors are facing the same problem the stores are facing, aren't they? Because where the distributors had us landlocked before, because there was only a couple and the internet didn't really exist. Suddenly the internet exists and 50% of store sales go online. So all these store sales go online, so stores have to be more careful. Then we get the dispensaries and the facilities, so now these guys are blowing up big term, but then where are the dispensaries and facilities going? Listen, they're not buying from distributors, they're buying direct from the vendors. I mean, you know what I mean? Direct from the manufacturers. Nobody buys 1,000 lights from a middleman. And I think everybody should be selling to everybody. It's our job to compete in our niche market. We have to identify what our niche market is and excel in that situation. So I'm glad that Mile High Hydro's on here. I'm glad that the distributors sell online. I mean, as cannabis becomes legal, we're all going to have to live off 11%. I mean, the only money that Office Max and Office Depot saves, is right sizing, right? And then 3% on stationery. Because once Office Depot and Office Max combined, they got rid of the extraneous stores. And what's left after that? You know, they have an efficiency. What's left after that? Stationery. I mean, that's the only thing that they're going to save by absorbing each other instead of competing with each other. Are we going to see that in our industry? I think Hydrofarm just got something called an equity investment. I'm not sure, you know, the details, but listen, if Central Garden Supply or even GH Gavita Botanicare, which got bought by Hawthorne, which is Monsanto, I mean, I just got this email going into Canada. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to show you this email. So here's this email of going into Canada. And who are all these people? Listen, Canada's about to explode. It's a whole nother market. So look at all these people they've got lined up for Canada for a show I've just never heard of called Grow Up. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so there's the room. There's the floor plan. Seems kind of tiny, limited booth space. But you know, all they do is pull the curtain open and there's 200 more booths. Okay, sponsorships. What? Scott's? Who owns Scott's? Scott's? Do we sell any Scott's stuff in our store? I know the distributors have started to sell Scott's. But isn't Scott's like anti-indoor garden kind of stuff? Isn't this start to bridge into like the Miracle Grow Home Depot? Listen, you go to the Champs show and Champs has 5 different brands of piss clean. They own the magazines. They've got everything at their own show. I mean, here's High Canada, Scott's, Supreme, Tories, Tweed, We Grow, CFN, Cannabis Business Times, and High Canada Magazine, which I'm assuming is all Cannabis Canada. You know what I mean? Like, this is a grow up conference with all of these vendors in Canada. We have no idea who these vendors are from our side of the industry. Historically, we've never seen any of these vendors on our side of the industry. So from that perspective, we've got a lot of new players from the management perspective. But then we look at the, you know, the individual stores. You know, I am what I am, like the distributors be what they be. So as a hydro store, what am I? It's my job to be super efficient. It's my job to look at the market and the evaluation, see where things are going to be in 5 years, and then plan accordingly to avoid all obstacles, because if you can predict the obstacles, you should be able to avoid them. And you've watched me for years tell you guys about hydro stores, right? I mean, how the hydro store market is changing. Okay, so let me, I'll show you growstuff.com. Blam, growstorefinder.com. So this guy shows you hydro stores. Listen, I've been tracking twice a year. I confirm every hydro store. Twice a year, I have someone that confirms every hydro store we can find. We go through every one of these websites. We do every distributor. We do everything we can find. I'm so aggressive with tracking down my lists that we have a dead store list with 700 some stores on it. Why? Because when we go through the other websites, we say, is it on the good store? No. Is it on the bad store? No. Boom, call them and check. So I know every store. And when we talk about where every store is, like here is every, hang on a sec. This is everyhydrostore.com. Now, this is 6 months old for me, so it's probably 9% out because I've already added, I think, like 20, I've already added or corrected like 27 stores. Hey, you know what? Don't stand right there like that while I'm on my show, because if that was the camera, that's be your butt on my show. So yeah, whatever it is you're going to do, don't do that. It'd be weird. So we're just learning how to broadcast in the store. Now, you're welcome to a mic and you can be on the show, but you can't show the camera your backside. Okay, so this is every hydro store. It's $14.49. There's really 16.15 or so. And so that's how that plays out. So we go through all of the other sites and we track all this data. That's from the, that's from the other side of it. So all of these new players. So what do I actually do in my store? I got to tell you, some of the things that I do in my store is I really concentrate. Like we're gonna, okay, so here's Craigslist. Here is CO2 refills. Blam. Let's take a look at CO2 refills. CO2 refills as low as 13 with prepay. Cannabis Grow Card. And what is my Cannabis Grow Card? Blam. That is the business card for my store. Hey, we buy used. Check that out, right? And then what's on the other side? And then all I do is I write in the space, hey, you get 10 free refills or 20 free refills. It's not buy 10, get one free, where they go home and punch out 10 and go, can I have a free one? This is prepay. So if you want that deal, but listen, I would give you that deal. I paid $12.50 for a CO2 refill. I would do it for $12. Why? Because if you're going to buy 20 from me, shit, even if you came in at 2 at a time, that's 10 chances to sell you something more. So we have the CO2 refill. One of the other things that I sell is I have my own RO line. I mean, you look at, everybody creates nutrient lines, right? So we've got what, like 2 ROs in our industry? Oh, well, we have the vendor brands, the distributor brands, they're house brands. And then we have like what, Hydrologic? I buy these things for so cheap by the pallet, and then I sell them. I build them, I sell them, I create videos that teach people how to use them. And then whenever somebody comes to the store, like I throw one of these things in their bag with a troubleshooting guide. So when they're crapping on the toilet, they can be like, oh, what's this? And they can read it. And it's all about how to solve grow problems. You know, this is also the stuff that we put in the magazines. But I've taken clever images from the book and I put it on stuff that we can give out to people. Here's another one. Here are the books that I sell. And here's the Grow Diamond. And so we give out various versions of these things because, well, frankly, the cheapest customer you already have is the one that's in your store. Who's more likely to come back and buy more shit from you than someone in the store? And speaking of that, on that level, I'm going to show you this picture. Okay, don't save. Blam. This is, I had a customer come in the other day, and I'll tell you, nothing drives me fucking nuts like leaving money on the table. And you don't always know how much a customer has, and asking them about their budget doesn't always work. So he comes in, we do that first 20 minutes where he's got to settle down because, I got all these questions, but it doesn't really facilitate a sale because something comes into their brain, boom, shiny ball. So how many ppm am I going to be at week 9? No, I just want to grow one big plant. I just want to, So you know how you have to kind of wrangle the customer into the situation and keep the sale moving forward, because in the end, most growers are going to fail. I mean, That's just the way it is. Cannabis isn't what it is because growers are succeeding. So, and that's the problem with the facility, right? A facility puts up 1,000 lights. If 85% of growers fail, then every 60 days, 1,000 lights at a facility replaces 850 home growers. That's a lot of growers. So it's a real thing to consider. Anyway, if you or your store has any questions, or you're as a vendor, you have any questions, you can always call me up, 84 Grow Boss. We can talk about your store, your ideas, how they play off my ideas, if you have an idea. But anyway, so the guy comes in, we're sitting down, he settles down. Now we're documenting, right? We're in that writing phase where I'm writing prices and everything he wants. So we're all done, and I get him for $2,600. And I say get him because really that's what, I mean, he bought 3,000 watts and 3 tenths and 3 5x5 tenths. I mean, he bought the right equipment to do a 3-light rotation with CO2 to get 2 pounds a month. But he's never grown before, and he has no idea what he's doing, and it's just a lot of equipment to learn on. I mean, they're 1,000-watt dimmables. You know you could dim them down to 600 or 400, but you know no one does. So he gives me $2,600, and son of a bitch, he had $400 left. The problem that we ran into was I forgot to put vent fans, to put oscillating fans on there, like, you know what I mean? Like the Hurricanes from Sunlight. Those 12 and 16-inch fans, you know what I mean? So I forgot to put that on the list, so he left with $400. Gah! I was pretty close. I mean, I was 80%. I got 80% of his money, and that's pretty fucking good. And you know, it's nothing against him. He has a dream. Fortunately, he got the right equipment from me, and I'm happy to teach him for as long as he wants. He can come in here and ask me questions. But there comes that point where I'm like, listen, man, you put a 2-foot T5 over this, over, you know, Mondi Dome, over a Mondi tray with Root Riot starters, and there's nothing to be done for a month because it's a plant. And you can ask me all sorts of questions, but until you get the basics down, I don't answer the advanced stuff. I mean, they already bought the equipment. But I am here as long as they continue to make progress. I'm here for free. That's the promise I make them. So, in terms of a strategy for my store, one of the big things that I do is, no matter what system you come in, most likely it's going to be the wrong system. Because if you have problems, whatever the fuck it is you're doing, it's got to be wrong. Oh, you wouldn't have problems, right? Because you don't need to know how to grow. You just use the right nutrients. Anyway. My point is that the industry is changing. Now, the customers don't change. They always ask the same questions. That's why my cards work so well, because I don't care who the customer is. It's the same fucking question, different head. You know what I'm saying? So once you answer the questions properly, then you just have to repeat. That's why those cards work so well to put in everywhere. I mean, listen, you're going to have to buy rope ratchets no matter what. Why don't you buy 3,000 of them from China with your own store on them? I sell those mega meters. I buy them. I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not even going to tell you. Let's just say I make 200% off them after shipping. 200%. How gangster is 200%? That's, remember now, if I buy them for 5, then I'm selling them for 15. I'm making 2 times. I get my money plus 2 times more. So anyway, as part of the strategy of not leaving any more money on the table when a customer comes in, I created this list for myself. Boom. Now let's just say I came up with $3,100 total. The guy's got 3,000. Listen, I can always back it down and say, do it in 2 pieces. Get the bulk, set everything up, and come back for $700 worth of stuff later. But I couldn't convince him to buy those 4 fans and get that last little bit. Now, just remember, I closed the deal, took all the money, loaded him up, ended the whole thing, and then tried to sell the fans one more time, so I wasn't confusing the sale. You know what I mean? I wasn't slowing down the sale. You know, you close the deal, it is what it is, get your fucking money, and then adjust accordingly. Well, I mean, if you're good. Unless you're one of those stores that don't answer questions. We got a couple of those in town. They're like, listen, you got to know what you want. You know what I mean? My store is a little different. I'm on the other side aggressive with the customers. I'm like, no, you know what I mean? You can do whatever you want, but here's the basics, and until you can do that. Do I have a reputation? Hell yes. Does my buddies at the other stores come and tell me people hate me? Hell yes. Do those same people or some other version of the same person with a different head come to my store and tell me how wrong those other stores are? Do they come and tell me how sad they are that they bought the wrong shit, that they got the bad advice, that all the other stores tell them it's nutrient lockout and pH lockout? Hell yes! Did I tell him that they come to me and say that? Hell no! Remember, everybody shops everywhere and everyone's a fucking critic, and opinions are like, well, I think we all understand what opinions are like. I'm just suggesting that by having this form right here, I will better be able to serve my market. Hey, Chuck, he's not done, is he? Oh, you're coming back in the morning? Oh, okay. All right, you rock. Thank you. I'll see you in the morning. What? Wait. There's less of a rush. Tomorrow my show is on 9 a.m., 9 to 10. So you're welcome to be before or after, whatever you want. I'll be up early to let you know what I mean, let you in. Let me know. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. All right, perfect. The store looks good. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, so smart customer equals more money is the comment made on the live chat. But smart customer equals less effort. In terms of that, I got to tell you, I would always rather spend less effort on a customer. I mean, the dumber they are, the more questions they get. The more they get the concept, the cheaper that customer becomes. So all I'm suggesting is that there's this relationship between time, money, and effort. Anyway, this is... okay, so I had a couple other things I was going to talk about. Notice I didn't actually show up with a checklist. So, okay. Email, let me see if I got this over here. So let me just tell you that. So we were talking about those fans earlier, right? And how I could buy this fan for cheaper than I could get it from a distributor. So I really don't care whether I buy it from the distributor or them. You know, I trade with the distributor or I buy it cash from Walmart. But I just want to point out that the watts of the motor not listed on the fan, this is the distributor's reasoning. And I'm saying this because I sent this specific distributor an email because I want them to hear what I have to say about this. I just want to point out that if 50% of the sales are online, and we see that Walmart has these cheap-ass fans online, then when you say the watts of the motor are not listed on that black fan, I hear, uh-oh, you're going to tell me how awesome the product is. You know what I mean? This is like, let them dress in Target clothes. We just had what's his name's wife get off an airplane bragging about who she was wearing. Who you're wearing? What the fuck cares what brand name you're wearing? This is a female who's looking for something that has nothing to do with anything, right? She's talking about brand names. People are dying. And then when somebody says you're talking about brand names, let them dress Target. You're getting off a plane where the rest of us are like, what? You know what I mean? So you are so out of touch getting off an airplane talking about your designer clothes from the reality of 99% of us that I just want to point out that distributors are the exact same way. When you send me the watts of the motors are not listed on that black fan, and for a good reason. Based on the amps, I would say it's a 60-watt motor. Okay, listen, it's a smaller motor that doesn't move as much air, okay? I could buy stock, sell those exact fan, and be able to compete on that same price, but I know my customers would not be happy with the inferior quality. I don't have any... You know what, motherfucker, you know what? You know what, let me show you something. Let me show you something about the reality of price in a store. You want to know what's in my store? Let me show you what's in my store. What's in my store is my distributor fans. Why are my distributor fans right there? Because until I found the Walmart brand, those were the cheapest fans that I could find. And I have no idea what the motor is. And none of my customers do either. They don't come in. They'll come in and tell me how much research they did on the light. But they don't come in and tell me how much research on the fan. And now let me tell you. Oh, dude, that fan right there, 6-inch, $49 on Walmart. Nobody, oh my God, look out, it's a super turbo fan. Now, let me show you the reality of the brand name fans. Ready? You're going to love this, distributor. Look at my whole store. Oh, here's our new counter right here. You know what I mean? And you look up and there's, oh, what's that? Oh, super expensive Vortex fans? Oh, and what's this up here? More Vortex fans? And what's this up over here where we can't even reach or grab? Max fans and Can fans and Vortex fans? That's weird that a distributor would tell me that, oh, people want to buy quality. No, they don't. You could tell them that if you hung a swinging dick in their plant, in their garden, they would hang a swinging dick in their garden. Just look online. You're going to tell me that these growers make sense? Are you crazy? They're burying eggshells for calcium. There is no logic with growers. We sell hopes and dreams here at the store. Hopes and dreams. It must be because 85% of growers fail. Doesn't have nothing to do with my store. I mean, that's price cannabis. 85% of growers fail. Whether it be you get busted. I mean, I bought some shit this week for pennies on the dollar that I've sold for quarters on the dollar. I made so much money off some of this shit. Why? Because the dude got in a fight with his neighbor. Neighbor said he's beating his kid. They show up to the kid. They find his garden set up. Hey, don't come in the back part of the store because there's a camera on back here. So just stay on that side so you know. Thank you. So, you know what I mean? Like, this guy there are so many ways to fail that whether they finish or not get bud, they fail just based on value trade-off. For all the time you spent learning how to grow dope and buying this equipment, if you learned how to fix a car, it's a skill you'd have for the rest of your life. See what I'm saying? What the fuck grows for the next 30 years? Listen, they're in and out. The customers change, the questions don't, right? All customers shop everywhere. All I'm suggesting is when you tell me that a customer comes in my store because they want a motor with you guys selling a 115 watt, there's a big difference in price, performance, quality, and returns. No customer cares. Just like nobody without health insurance cares what brands you're wearing. Listen, China has a crackdown because their government was going to Macau spending money. And we've got this chick get off a plane bragging about how much she can afford, and then telling Americans how much she sacrificed, walking down a plane with shopping bags on her arms. All I'm suggesting is that this level of disconnect between the distributors and the stores, the internet and the end user grower is brutal. And it's so significant that if you're going to get, she deleted her Twitter. She turned off her Twitter account. She had to she did a retraction. All I'm suggesting is that when we look at the business perspective of what's happening at the store level, and I get a distributor that tells me, hey, they're going to buy on quality. When I just wrote up a list like this, the guy's got $3,000 and he's got a lot more than a fan to buy. Listen, you're crazy. You want to know how I know you're crazy? I'll show you how I know you're crazy. Because I have got gorilla tents in the back of my store. And I sell them occasionally. I probably have 5 in the back of my store. I buy them offline, so I don't deal with the distributor. But let's talk about what I buy online. You want to know how they don't care about quality? You want to know? They don't do any research. I buy these meters online. You want to... here's advanced nutrients I buy. Oh, come on. Make the picture show up. So I buy so many products online. I mean, I buy tents online. I mean, not everybody wants to spend the kind of money on $500 tents. You know what I mean? Like, look at all the store stuff. Oh, dude, tents. You know what I mean? Like, more tents, more tents, more tents. All I'm suggesting is when a distributor tells the guy who's actually selling the shit to the customers, when the government tells the military guy whose boots are on the ground how it works, I'm just suggesting that the disconnect, I'm just suggesting that the send right link. Okay, so let's, let me find this, send the link. So somewhere here, Here's the link. Sweet, you were right. So I'm just suggesting, that was a 4x4 internet tent. So don't tell anybody, because we had some gorilla tents and the customer in the front of my store just bought an internet tent. Now, the thing about an internet tent is I don't make very much money off of it because, well, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully you teach someone how to grow and you don't have to. Listen, McDonald's sells their sodas for $1. Listen, the cup costs more than the liquid, right? I mean, that's why they send syrup. But by the time somebody handles the cup and they have to pick their butt and do all the stuff that they do in the shake slime and they have to put it all together, I mean, it's like 6 cents. I'm just saying that there's a lot that goes on with it, and that if you're a distributor and you think that they come into my store looking for quality, the only word a grower ever comes in and says quality, they say, I want the best bud. I don't care about yield, I want quality, which you don't get yield without quality, you don't get quality without yield. It would be like saying, I would like gas mileage and horsepower. You don't get both. Oh, you're okay. Come on back. Not you, because you're a customer. You don't. You see the webcast up there? Mondi humidity dome, 7-inch, 2 vents, inserts, 72, because I can't find the 50 count. Chuck, because I'm the luckiest employer in the world to have Chuck work at the store. He makes it look good.
I'm going to have him put a George Costanza sleeping thing behind there for me.
Okay. George, okay. George Costanza sleeping thing. Dude. George got a little sleepy thing behind the desk. Oh my God. Listen, the Chuck channel. The Chuck channel, you got to pay attention because the dude is super funny, but sometimes you got to make the connection. Yeah, just loved that episode. Anyway, so Chuck is super funny. So all I'm suggesting is, if you're a distributor and you say anything remotely like, oh, the customer wants quality, let me tell you, the only thing that they ever think, ever think, is you get more yield, is that you get more yield from hydro, and that the closer the light, the more bud they're going to get. And if you buy an LED, you're going to get better bud. Listen, these are the only things growers think. Nobody comes in my store thinking that at the end of harvest, that their plant is going to be 5 months old. 4 weeks rooting, 8 weeks veg, and 8 weeks flower if they're in a 2-light rotation. It'll be 4 months old if they're in a 3-light or a 1-light rotation. But either way, nobody comes to my store and says, oh my God, I've got months and months to go, so I'd like to take it slow and buy a high quality fan. That's not what they do. Let me tell you what a grower that comes in my store does. I got growers that come in my store with 6 fucking seeds and $1,500. And they look at me and they go, yo, I need to move in 60 days and I need $1,500 to move. Do you think I can grow cannabis and get $1,500? And I say, yes. And I take their money. What? I'm the wrong person to ask. If you're going to wag money in front of me, don't care what you think about me. I'm the wrong person to ask. And so the answer is yes. That's the customer that comes in my store. So when I get a distributor that tells me what fashion, oh, that was the lady that got off the plane. Who? Who am I talking about? God, that blonde lady who just I mean, you know it's not going to be on Yahoo News because they're a disaster. All right, let's see if we can get it on Yahoo News. Okay, no, can't get it on. Okay. So you guys know the scandal that's going on with the lady that just got off the plane who is wearing expensive clothes. Listen, I'm just saying that there is an easy way to be out of touch. The same way that I have to admit that I was out of touch when I was like, oh, nobody buys a burner. Oh, nobody buys this. Oh, nobody buys that. Fuck that. I went to Mars. I bought so many Mars LEDs off eBay. Mars called me, and now I'm a Mars distributor. I'm waiting on a pallet from them. What the fuck am I going to do? You can't beat them, join them. Listen, nobody comes to my store asking for the advanced nutrients. Number one product people ask for by name. Maybe somewhere 2, 3, 4 is Mars LEDs. Definitely a significant portion of my customers come through asking about LEDs. So fuck it. I gave up. I started stocking Mars. Why do I keep buying them off eBay? They're cheaper from Mars. Fuck it. I got a pallet delivered to my store. I'm waiting on it as we speak. I'm stocking up with Walmart. I'm stocking up on eBay. I look for the errors that they make and I buy them, and you know what I mean? I buy enough to last the rest of my life in this store. So these are the reality. This is the reality of what goes on in the store. When you say something to me like, and listen, I like this. The person who sent me this email, I like. But I don't ever believe that they've had the correct strategy. This has been 4 years ago when I went to the MJ BizCon. Dude, the grow dope industry got smaller. Why? Because the legal industry got so big. So the indoor got smaller. I went to that Oregon show. Their bud was delicious and sticky and gooey, and it wouldn't matter even if you could tell indoor from outdoor, which you can't. That bud was so good, you wouldn't care. And they were talking about $500 pounds. They said, one guy said literally, when it goes legal and we can transport across state lines, Oregon's going to explode like a silo. So when I got a distributor, and listen, there are several major distributors. One of the distributors is getting bought out, whatever they call it. They're getting equity invested, whatever it is. One of the other, we got a new distributor like Central Garden, Monsanto coming through. Listen, they're in 10,000 garden centers. There are 1,600 hydro stores. There are 10,000 garden centers. When you go to the Las Vegas Central Garden show, and you may not have to sneak in, but when you go to their show, dude, they fly them in. They serve them food like you've never seen at one of our distributor shows. All I'm saying is, for the distributor shows, even in our industry, I find that I get even better deals by buying for their Christmas specials than buying 3 or 5% off. Besides, that's really a chain store thing. What store like mine, who pays bills out of the cash register as they come in? My credit card machine, the lone wolf, my kid's mom, my former wife, she owns everything, the Grow Boss, everything. How does she pay the bills? Shit. Credit card machine goes to her account. There's my rent and everything else. That's why I hate when people charge stuff, because it goes to the lone wolf and I don't get the cash. So I spend the cash on the inventory. Listen, what I'm saying is that you got to pay attention to how you advertise your store for lots of different reasons. We've got this. Okay, warranties. Okay, PA hydroponics. You say the only downside would be warranties for the crap lights. Let me just tell you that the Chinese just send you I buy several things from Chinese. I get the all American. Hey Chuck, where do we get those Plant Max bulbs from? Robert Wu. Yeah, but what's the company? All American Plant Max. Ultra Grow Plant Max. Listen, Robert Wu's a funny dude. And I buy stuff from him because he gets it so cheap. I could sell it on the internet. That's how cheap I get stuff from Robert Wu. But if you've got a problem, that motherfucker wants to see it. And he's going to send you a label. And that's why I told you earlier in the show, Pennsylvania hydroponics. The only reason that when I buy stuff off eBay, could I buy 20 at once? Hell yes. Do I? Hell no. Why? Because I buy 2 at a time, 2 at a time, 2 at a time, and then I can leave 10 bad reviews. Bah, fuck them. That's how you play the eBay game. And if you keep buying the same product over and over and over and over from the same vendor over and over, it's the same UPC code. They have no idea how long ago you bought it. It's easier than shopping at Fry's and returning shit. Oh my God, I was a computer engineer for a decade. I just bought the same 10 network cards, swapped them out, returned them 10 at a time. I'm just saying that as a small store, there's lots of ways that you have to beat the system. Tapping Craigslist, tapping potential customers, making sure that you understand as a store the relationship between what the customer is looking for and the reality of the situation. Because frankly, if you think I'm going to sell a $64 fan instead of a $49 fan, you're crazy. You as a distributor buy the least expensive thing you can get away with. So whatever you think your get away with level is, whether it be UL certified or whatever it is, Walmart is selling them. So, right? I mean, 50% of sales are online and the cheapest fan online. And I buy those used fans when they come in my store. You saw it at the front of my store. I mean, I buy those. I didn't realize they were coming from Walmart. I'll buy them for 50 and sell them for 100. And they'll look at the customer like, look, what else are you going to buy? I'll just put MSRP right here on this list. They'll be like, oh, what do you want? I'll be like, what do you want? I'll be like, oh, fan. And I'll just write 6-inch fan down. I have zero loyalty to a distributor. There's no distributor calling me in my store saying, oh, we're going to give you these things for less money. There's no distributor that says that. I love my distributor. You know, I just bought, for the first time ever, a 24 and 36,000 split unit in my store. Why? Because the more stuff I buy, I found the more stuff I've been selling. I have spent so much money stocking up and redoing my store these last couple of weeks with new inventory and that counter and all this stuff. I have bought so much stuff from my distributor. They don't care if there's a couple of things that I buy. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what do they care if I buy neoprene collars or I'm super stoked because I find this? In the scheme of things, it's nothing compared to those 2 AC split units that I bought. What's so funny?
50 cell insert trays.
Oh, we got our 50 cell insert trays. Oh, God. These 72 insert trays with these 50 count Root Riot starters. It sucked, right? And then, anyway, I just hate it when the customers hate it when the lid doesn't fit right on the tray. Little stuff like that. That's what a customer comes in and complains about. Customers never come in and complain about the motor on their fan. Listen, LEDs tell you to put the light 2 feet away from your plant. It just kills your fucking plants. They don't know how to grow. They just copied whatever the other website who didn't know how to grow, and they put it on there, substitute their image. Why? Because, well, frankly, people who don't know how to market things, they look and they say, what's everybody else doing? Oh my God, the Russians. Nobody is better at exploding a business than the Russians. The Russians come into New York and they look around and they go, well, what's the most popular business? And then they all do that. That was what happened back in 2012, 2013 here in Las Vegas. Several stores were Russians. They opened up on top of the other stores. They're awesome. Listen, Russians are fantastic. That wasn't my point. My point was it's a business strategy, and they don't know how to drive, which is why they all have cameras in their cars, and I love those videos. But my observation here about the relationship between the stores and the growers, to have a distributor tell me the relationship between a store and a grower. Listen, I know what they hate. They hate my dick attitude. I know what they love. They love great prices. Nobody comes to my store because I'm expensive. They come to my store because the best reputation I have is for solving problems and for having the cheapest equipment. You know what I mean? It's not always the equipment they want, but I've got new, I've got used. That's a big deal. And, you know, we were talking about Craigslist earlier. I'll tell you something about Craigslist that you probably haven't thought of. The best thing you could do on Craigslist is to get rid of as many objects on Craigslist as possible. You figure, why are people on Craigslist? Because they're buying. So if you have as few things buying on Craigslist, as few things being sold on Craigslist, the fewer buyers on Craigslist, the fewer sellers on Craigslist, the more buyers have to come to your store. I mean, that's how this works. The more buyers have to come to your store because there's less stuff on Craigslist. That's why I'll pay a little more for equipment on Craigslist, because I don't want it on Craigslist. I want them to come to my store so I can sell them everything on my list. Because people on Craigslist don't have a list, and people that are growing have no idea what they're doing. Because the ones that do know what they're doing aren't coming to the store asking me questions. They buy the right shit the first time. Why? Because they know what they're doing. And even then, they still come in and they buy 4 or 5 or 6 K1000s and K750s from me and grow for 6 months and sell them back to me used. Why? Because they learned their lesson. They don't produce the same. Well, quantity and quality, who the fuck knows? I mean, these guys are great growers. There just comes a point where all buds the same. So what I'm suggesting here is, when the bourgeois elite try to tell the middle lower class how it is, it's funny, right? It's like people go to the mechanic and like, listen, this is what's wrong with my car. And the mechanic goes, would you like me to just fix that? Or would you like me to find out what the problem is? Why do you think the mechanic says that? Because the mechanic already knows you're wrong. That's why they're doing what they're doing and you're doing what you're doing, right? And when we come to admit that, you know, when we come to terms with the reality of the situation, I'm just suggesting that to be told what your job is by somebody who doesn't do your job is silly. And I have never, ever, the number one sale that I've lost in my store by letting my store run down while I was writing the book was Advanced Nutrients. Nobody drives sales to my stores like Advanced Nutrients. Not once ever, never ever have I lost a sale because I didn't have a fan manufacturer, because I would just lower the price of whatever fan that never sells in my store. I would just lower the price on one of those till I got rid of an inventory that I didn't have to replace. Why? Because nobody ever asked me if I had a 110 UL certified 80 amp fan 6-inch. What do? They go, oh, I've got a 400 watt light. I buy a 6-inch fan. What the? They have no idea what equipment they're buying. You're not out there educating them on what fans they need to buy. I am. So to tell me what the customers and growers want as a distributor, it's nonsense. If that was what they wanted, what the fuck am I doing buying these fans online? The question you should be asking is, if a guy who has his finger wrapped around the industry, because I've been predicting the relationship between vendors and distributors and stores for 6 years now, I've been telling you what's going to happen. I've been telling you that Max Yield is going to have to go out of business. I can't imagine that their magazine is going to fare any better. I mean, the distributors are in it. They're not in my magazine. The distributors are in it. If that's enough to keep them in business, good for them. But it ain't the money that a show brings in. Not when MJ BizCon is $400 to get in. It's not the same thing. It's not the same industry. You know what I mean? They're shrinking. And so I'm just suggesting that they don't know where the stores are, because I sent you that video. Let's see, YouTube. I think this might be on a different channel. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to the video, but my observation is our industry develops like any other industry out there. Just like alcohol coming off prohibition, just like Office Max and Office Depot, just like Circuit City went down, and now we have Best Buy. Best Buy, dude, Best Buy tapped. Oh, you want to see it? I'll give you an article. Best Buy tapped the digital industry in a way that few stores have. So here's an article. Give me one sec. Here is an article. Here is an article from, okay. Let me post this up. Okay. Again, it's nice because I have a live chat. Here's the live article. If not, I'm going to, we're going to go to the live article right now. And I just want to point out that it turns out that there's an anagram for what? what I've been saying, I'll let the commercial play, and then we'll do internet. Okay. So why am I on? Oh, okay, because that doesn't matter. Okay, so here's an article that's specifically about why going online might be a futile strategy for department stores. Why is it a futile strategy for department stores? I'll tell you specifically why. Because a department store sells other people's shit. And if the new thing called, and that's it right here, directly to the consumer, this is DTC. If the highlight, see the bold section right in the middle here, the DTC, direct to consumer. If you sell direct to consumer and you do a good job, oh, like who does a better job than, oh, with this, you know, that raw egg commercial or the Sasquatch commercial? Ah, dude, they make the best fucking commercials. All they need to do to solve this Macy's brand name department store shit is to have Coors and Coach and Ralph Lauren make great commercials and sell online. They're already renegotiating deals with the department stores to limit sales so there are no more sales on high-end stuff because they're trying to control the MSRP of their product. And what industry can you think of that we might be associated with? And frankly, you can't call me and almost can't call me. It's 84 Grow Boss if you want to, but you almost can't call me and discuss this with me because it'll become collusion. But here we see that these brands, these well-managed brands who have CEOs and CFOs and chief of advertising officers and my dumb ass all telling you the same thing. They just gave it a cool DTC anagram. And anagram's front and backward the same. Whatever. DTC, direct to consumer. What do you think the Grow Boss does? Do you know how many books and magazines I sell a month? Do you know why I don't care if anybody subscribes to the channel or likes, or I don't waste 1 second going, hey, it's the Grow Boss, Cannabis Information Network, subscribe and like the channel. Do you know why I don't do any of that? Because the reality is that's not where the value is. I'm glad that you guys are here. But the value actually is, for me, learning this skill where I can apply it to whatever industry I do next. Why? Because the degree is economics, and I've been predicting exactly where we are. How are the vendors going to compete when we go to Zen Hydro, and these guys are selling stuff that I buy from them? What are these Zen Hydro sell stuff so cheap I buy from them? So what are we going to do on stores when the stores are buying online? What are the distributors going to do? Should we all work together? It's a real question. When I say something like the customers don't care about the difference between whatever you think you put in your UL listed fan, because frankly, if I can go down 25 bucks on a fan, fuck, I can go down 40 bucks and still make the same percent profit. That's what I mean. It's PA Hydroponics. Think about it like Circuit City and Best Buy, just like Office Depot and Office Max. There was only room for one because of the internet. I'm just suggesting that as chain stores blow up, and when I say chain stores blow up, like literally, here's the image of the stores. We've added 2 stores recently, but the square footage of those stores almost equals all the other stores. Did we double the count? No, but we doubled the square footage. And they got some beautiful stores over at like Las Vegas Hydroponics. They got some great stores. This is me. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is one of the originals. But I'm looking for, that's me. More places. Oh, we were talking about tips and tricks. Blam! You want to know why I show up in third here? One is I have a Google AdWords account. I spend $100 a month advertising my store on Google. 150 because I do it in two different ways. I do YouTube videos and I do Google like this. But I typed in, notice my search was Las Vegas hydroponics. Notice I was on that list. Why? Because my name says Las Vegas hydroponics right in there. And I pay. And I have the right keywords. And I'm pretty fucking good at putting together Google AdWords. And I've been getting better with the vendors. And I've been doing national advertising. So when we talk about how to handle the competing with the better stores, here's my store. This is the oldest, arguably the biggest with 2 locations, but not the biggest anymore when they drop one. This is way up north. Oh, you know what? Let's take a look at some of his pictures, which is really what I wanted to do. Was I wanted to look at some pictures of other stores, even though that's not particularly the biggest store. Oh, a little tent demo. You know, bags of this and that. What else you got? Okay, so kind of a small store like mine. This is the guy up north, kind of has pictures like mine. Okay, let's see. Sin City. Let's take a look. This is one of my buddies. No. Hydro Geek. This is new. He's got some pictures up. So Hydro Geek. Whew. If you own a store, you know those are thin shelves. Oh, and he's got the Vegas sunlight behind it. Ouch, they get hot. If you don't know that, good luck. We got the usual shit. The usual. Oh, this guy moved. So this was one of my buddies opened up a store. Hydro Geek took it. Oh, here we go. Blam. This is the one I was looking for. Look how nice the store is. I literally have customers in the front of my store who are hanging out by the door because I'm doing a webcast in the back of my store. Hi. Hi. Sorry about that. Yeah. Hi. Yes. So, and I got to tell you, again, not my typical 18 to 49-year-old dumb, stupid, aggressive male. I got to tell you, we went from 99% 18 to 49 dumb, stupid, aggressive male to 93% 18 to 49-year-old dumb, stupid, aggressive male. It's a big shift. Dude, yesterday I sold a 75-year-old lady 16 ounces of Azamax. And what was it? And a gallon of flush. Her 69-year-old friend drove her, and she had some questions about lighting because she was growing outdoors here in Vegas in a greenhouse. And she said, well, I got like 14 white widow plants about this tall. Like, who are you? You know what I mean? Who are you, 79-year-old lady growing? Shouldn't you be playing bingo? Got kicked out of bingo, and now you're going to grow some cannabis. She was so gangster. And when we talked about the 1, 2, 3 light rotation, she knew exactly what I was talking about because she read the book. Okay, so we look at this guy. We look at this store here. We look at this store here. Look at those shelves. Oh, my God. So much inventory. Such a big store. You know, you can only put so much stuff in the store before you start repeating yourself. But look at how nice it is. Okay, that was Grow Generations. There's also High Roller Hydroponics. Oh, it's closed now. Okay, sweet. Let's type in specifically Green Coast. Oh, it's one word, Green Coast Hydroponics. She is smiling every time I look at the pictures. All right, so look at how big their store is. This is one of those stores that they put the quart next to the gallon because they've got so many shelves. Listen, I understand that everybody as a store is forced to carry all the products. I understand all that. I'm pleased Green Coast is in town. There they are, Green Coast. Garden, blah, blah. All these people are in town, blah, 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 blah. From my perspective, it doesn't really affect my sales because when you look on Craigslist and you look on YouTube and you look on Google, my dink little store is there with the best of them. For $150 a month, there's for $600 to $1,000. They're advertising in local magazines that are in the dispensaries. My buddy who owns a store that just moved it, the closed one that just moved, Hydro Geek, he put it in between a bunch of dispensaries on the green zone in Las Vegas. And he's like, all we get all day is people that are looking to buy cannabis. I'm just saying, in terms of tips and tricks and where the hydro store, where the industry is going, it really appears to me as if, you know what I mean? I think it's, dude, I owned a condo where we were in the summer, got hot and we got those big black water bugs that look like cockroaches. So here's what me and the kids would do every summer when they were little, because they were like 3 and 5. Every summer for years, they would get 2 water bottles and I would have a can of Raid and we'd squirt the cockroaches in 2 buildings all the way around. And it was adorable, right? It took us about 2 weeks. So every few days we'd go out there. And what you notice is they're all mediums for the first few times, but then suddenly the big cockroaches come out. And then after you kill off whatever those are, the little ones come out because they're hungry. I see the evolution of the industry in a very similar way that I've been predicting, that you just don't need all of this commotion to go on in a well-developed industry. So where is it all going to end up? And that's what I'm saying. We should just be able to jump to the end based on facts, apply it to everything that we know, all the previous experience, and extrapolate some reasonable data. One of the distributors is getting bought out. One of the distributors has created every product in their own name. One of the distributors is completely misinformed about the relationship between stores. All I'm saying is Warren Buffett says something very specific. He bets on management. Because if the people don't know how to do the business, it doesn't fucking matter. I know how to do the business and I wasn't. Therefore, my store was suffering. So, you know what I mean? Like, I create the CO2 thing. I'm just saying that there's a lot of ways to explore as a store. And for the last couple weeks, you've been watching me do this show. We had 20 at one point people on the show. I did 1 the first show and I think 3 on the second show. But I think you guys are seeing my point in terms of the relationship between the size of the stores and where they're going, where they are now, how many we had before, what we have at the moment, and where we're going to end up in 3 years. We definitely can't sustain this many stores on the strip. You know what I mean? Like when I was talking to you guys about, definitely can't sustain that many stores next to each other. Okay. So I went about 1:20 on this video. 1 hour, 20 minutes. My eyes are closed. And see you tomorrow. Later, Samat. Oh my God. You know why I would never ever sell soil? Because soil you have to ship and it's heavy. Why would I want to do that? The same thing with nutrients. Why would I want to? I've been offered my own brand of nutrients. Why would I want to compete for a $4 bottle? How would that move the needle when my average sale is $122 in terms of selling online with my books and stuff? I've been offered nutrients. I just got offered enzymes. We'll put your own certified name on the bottle. See what you can do with it. Show us how popular you are. Show you how popular you are. You know what I mean? There are a few people in our industry that I'm at the level that I'm at to have somebody say, show me how popular you are. We need you to prove it. Absolutely not. Just walk away. Don't give a fuck at all and buy whatever I need off the internet. Now, you know, that's not every vendor or every product or every situation, but there are people that I depend on. Oh my God. I reach out to them and offer to do whatever I can to help them. But soil would be a disaster. I've watched multiple vendors open up soil, nutrients, LED lights, no creativity, none. They're basing it on an old business strategy that has nothing to do with today's direct to consumer sales, which is why these people are failing. And if you can't associate who you are and what your products are and where you are in the food chain between distributor, vendor, manufacturer, and store, you can't succeed. I exist on several levels. I'm a vendor, I'm a distributor. Well, I mean, I distribute stuff to all the stores, but not like a distributor has everybody else's product. But I'm a vendor, you know what I mean? I'm an advertiser. I do advertising. I own a store. So, I appreciate all you guys listening. And if you have any questions or you want to call me, you can always call the store. If you would like to collude on super low pricing, I'm just suggesting that everybody that buys from a distributor or a vendor, they have MS, you know, the MAP, the minimum advertised price. So, Anyway, that's where things stand for my store this week. I just want to give a quick shout out to my main distributor, and that would be Sunlight Supply. I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving me some direction on what items to bring in. You know, they have that kind of experience for new items that I haven't carried. Like, dude, those big ACs, God, I just love that. I had these crappy ACs I bought used that I was trying to pawn off. You know, I'll tell you what I like most. I really like that all of their boxes look great, because I don't have very much room in my store, and putting brown boxes up in my store is always a bummer. So I just want to point out that, you know what I mean, like just how much I appreciate the fact that their products are so well put together. Because technically, here's Advanced Nutrients. I buy these off the internet, and they have as many shelves as GH. Oh, nope, GH has one more. Check that out. So, you know what I mean? Just look at those products. Just look at, I mean, sure, I wrap my store in plastic, in Panda paper, but I mean, just, you know, the boxes are so good looking. They say what there are. There's clear information. They really help me sell product. We've got harvesting solution products now from Harvest Keeper. Oh, I mean, these supersized ACs. Oh yeah. I am excited to sell big ticket items like this. You know what I mean? I was telling Chuck, this one AC is your bonus for the day. And that's what I do with Chuck. I suppose I could give him a raise, but I prefer to challenge him, and I prefer to pay him a bonus based on sales. It's my job to stock the store and advertise it. It's his job to sell the shit out of it during the week when he's in the store, and to have the store ready for me for the weekend. But I'm just saying that the more inventory I have, the better the sales, the great looking boxes. I was kidding myself that nobody buys it because they've been buying it. Anyway, it's running about an hour and a half. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. I do a Saturday webcast for growers, weekends at 9 a.m., where I literally sit here and get high with the growers for an hour on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. If you guys have a store, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to contribute, I'm always open to that. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and hit the like button. Oh, man. All right, Karma Club. Hit the like button, and it would be great if you hit the subscription button, too. That way you'll get an alert next week when I do the show. I do the webcast on the growboss.com livecast. But I just want to point out that I'll give you one more example before I end the show. I used to deal poker at the Stratosphere when I moved to Vegas because I loved it. So much fun moving to Vegas, right? So I learned how to deal poker. Anyway, my roommate was a blackjack dealer. And what she did to show me a point was she sat 4 of us at a table and she dealt us blackjack. We weren't allowed to say anything. We just placed the bets and did what she told us to do. Super smart. Every one of us won money by the end every time we had that demonstration. However, when each of us played individually, it didn't work right. It just didn't work right. But playing what she said remarkably did. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm the Grow Boss. I've got to go help Chuck because, well, honestly, my shipment of Mars lights just showed up. And I got a customer that pre-ordered them. So remember that shipment I told you? I got a deposit from him, used it on the Mars lights, got them cheaper. Anyway, pay good employees well. Tip them out well when they do a good job. When you've got a good seller, if Chuck does $1,500, gets $40. Chuck does $2,500, he gets $60. You know what I mean? The inventory's here. And if I do it on the weekend and he's not here, I still pay that bonus. Why? Because he got the store ready for me and the store looks good. And I couldn't have done it without him. I'm not going to castle over 40 or $60. That guy kicks ass. And when you treat your employees, when you treat fantastic employees fantastic, even though I only have one employee, even though it's not really even mine, it's the Lone Wolf's. But when you just got the one guy, I'm just saying, treat your employees well. Lead by example. Bring out the best in them. Get a chart. If you're expecting something from them that you're not providing, that's on you. That's not them. And I haven't had this in my store, and I didn't have this stuff here in the store for Chuck to sell, and that's on me, and I lost money for it. That's what I'm telling you guys. You really got to stay focused on the store, man. You got to be on your game all the time. All right, PA Hydroponics, I'm out too. Thanks so much. I'm the Grow Boss. If you want to buy my books, you can, of course, get them here on GardenScienceMagazine.com. We'll do this again next week. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Bah.